Good morning, everyone. It's Jess here. Today on It's Not Magic, I'm going to show you how I do just my everyday basic makeup. No tips, no tricks, just everyday look. So, clean face. I cannot stress the importance of skincare, which is another video, and clean hands. So I have already put on my daily moisturizer with some SPF in it. You want to make sure you're always protecting your skin. Next thing I'm going to do is just put a little bit of primer on. Yes, primer is a necessity. So just kind of, it doesn't take much and it makes your skin just super soft and smooth so that your makeup goes where it's supposed to, stays where it's supposed to, and doesn't clump into fine lines and wrinkles, because that does not look good. So primer, primer, primer always. And ideally you want to let your primer soak in for about 5 minutes if you have time. If not, it is not a necessity. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to do my foundation. I'm not a huge fan of liquid foundation just because I feel like it's too heavy for me. I really try and put my focus on skincare so that I don't have as much to cover up. That doesn't always work. Sometimes I have to rely on the liquid, but whenever possible I go with a powder, a loose powder foundation. So these are my brushes. Let's see if you can see all those. Make sure you keep your brushes clean. Nobody wants a dirty brush spreading bacteria all over your skin. That does not make for good skincare. So I've got my primer on. The next thing I'm going to go to is a loose powder foundation. And it doesn't take much. You can take your powder foundation brush. I'm really bad at remembering their names. And you just kind of tap just a little bit. I mean, it really is not much. And you just want to swirl it onto your skin. The good thing about a powder foundation is that you can layer. So if you feel like you need more coverage, you can always just go back over there and give yourself another layer. I like to make sure I get my eyelids, kind of saves me that extra eyelid priming. I find that with the Younique shadows, I never get creases. So, you know, I used to use an eyelid primer because I felt like I needed it. I always had creases and I cannot stand that, but I don't get them anymore. So I can skip that step. Okay. So as you can see, like there should not be any clumps. I mean, it really just covers pretty flawlessly without looking like you've got a whole lot of anything on. For me, underneath my eyes, I feel like I forever have circles and, you know, dark lines. And I used to try and cover it up with heavy creams. Let's see. I moved Erase Paste, yes. This used to be one of my go-tos, and I would clump it on and attempt to cover everything up, and all it ever did was make me look like a raccoon. So I gave up on the concealers, and kind of what I do now is I use the translucent setting spray, or not spray, translucent setting powder, because it's so nice and light, and I just take kind of a bit more than I did in my foundation, and this goes at an angle underneath my eye. And that is it. And this really just kind of balances out. Now, if I was going to go to, you know, I needed a night look, or I was doing a bigger event or photos, then I would do more with concealer. And then I take just a small amount and just go over my T-zone, make sure that we don't get any shiny spots later. So that's it with foundation for everyday foundation. The next thing I go to is blush, and we're going to use Seductive today. And I mean, it's literally the tiniest little bit. There's two different ways that I like to do blush. One is here and highlight here, or one is here and highlight here. So it just depends on what look you want to go for today. We're going to go with cheekbones, and we're just gonna And that's it. Just blend. You don't need a lot. The key is really just to blend. You don't want any lines. You don't want to look like your makeup is drawn on your face. Okay, that's done. And then we've got eyes. Eyes are kind of my favorite. Eyes, I feel like, is something that you can play with a lot. Some people go for lips. You can always do one bold. You don't necessarily want to do two bolds. You want to just highlight one thing or the other. And I have pretty small lips, so I tend to highlight my eyes. So even on just kind of a lazy everyday day, I am going to go with today. Let's see here. There's so many different choices for eyeliner. You've got, liquid eyeliner, and you've got a million different shades, and your traditional pencil eyeliner. So I'm going to just do a pencil, and I'm going to do, the shade is called Proper. It's just kind of a nude brown. Sometimes I go really bold, sometimes I don't. Today we're going to go fairly neutral, so I don't have anywhere to go. There's no sense in putting on a full face of makeup, because then I have to take it off, and that's my least favorite part. So when I draw my line here, let's see if I can get close enough. I go from mid-eye to the end of my eye. And right here, I just kind of follow that natural line up and just kind of imagine a line here. We're not going to do full cat eye, but we just want to just extend just a little bit along that line. From where we extended, we're going to go about to the midway point. And we're just going to that tiny little wing that we had on the end, we're just going to kind of fill that in. It's not very much, but you can see what a difference it makes in opening up your eye. You want to kind of, if you overline your eye, you're going to close your eye up more. And depending on what angle you put that eyeliner, you're going to get a whole different look. So this is my everyday. I want to feel like I'm awake and don't look like a zombie. This is the method that I use for my eyeliner. So we're going to do the other eye. We are not caking this on. It does not take a lot. And the good thing about pencil eyeliner is if you do mess up, you go a little too far, a little too heavy, it is really, really easy to fix. So that's that, super fast. And you can see just how instantly awake that you look just by doing that little bit. So the next thing I do is my brows, and I have two different products that I use on my brows, and I probably love my pencil the most. However, I usually keep a backup, and I used the backup and I didn't know, so I'm waiting on my new one to come in. So I'm gonna have to go to my second favorite. It's only my second favorite because it takes me a little bit longer, like 4 more seconds that I'll never get back in life, right? So I'm using the Brow Artist brush. It's angled on one side and flat on the other. I like the angled side to put my powder on. I'm using the Brow Obsessed palette here. So you've got a light and a dark. I like to start with the light, and I take that and put it right there at the angle that I want it to be, and just make sure I have that line. And this is why I use the light to start with, so that if I mess anything up, it's much easier to correct. And then I just kind of work this in to my natural brows and fill them in kind of how I want them. And then I go back over with the darker color, and I make that line just a little bit more visible and fill in just a little bit more, building where I need to build. I remember when I was really young, one of my mom's friends told me, don't ever mess with your eyebrows, whether the trend is thin, thick, feathery, whatever they've got going on. Just leave them alone. And I've really tried to adhere to that and not over pluck my eyebrows. I don't want a unibrow, but as you get older, they kind of fall out and you tend to have less and less. So don't pluck them unless you absolutely have to. So that's that. You can see the huge difference. All I did was fill it in. So this is an eyebrow wax, which will kind of keep everything into place. Another thing that I like is brow gel. just because it's a little bit easier for me to just set that powder on there and keep everything going in the direction that it should go. So, I mean, just you can see what a huge difference it makes with keeping your eyes open and making your face fresh and awake just by filling in the brows. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to spend 20 minutes drawing one on, which is, I mean, it's great if you want to take that time, but everyday makeup does not have to take you a super long time. And it really builds your confidence, I think, when your face is put together. A lot of you know that I have some health issues and that I battle EDS, which is Ehlers-Danlos, and sometimes I don't want to get out of bed, let alone get dressed and put makeup on. And the days that I don't feel good and I force myself to get up and put my face on, I get so much more accomplished just because I feel good. And when you stay in your pajamas all day and don't take care of yourself, you don't feel as good. So a couple of minutes and you're done. So that's it, basic. And then you can go from here however you want to go. I'm gonna go kind of subtle on the eyes. And I have different brushes for different shades. I'm very particular about how I use my brushes, even though I wash them very regularly. I don't want to have any of my colors mixed, so when I go to put on a light color, I've got dark streaks. So I am very, very particular about my brushes. So this is a palette that I created. Let's see here. And obviously I love purple and pinks and mauves. So I'm gonna take, this is Hesitant right here, and just a little bit. And I basically am just drawing a line right underneath my brow, right across the orbital socket. So, and I'm going all the way to the edge of my brow. And same on this side. Okay. And then I'm taking Slick, which has got some iridescence to it, because I love just a little bit of shimmer, and I'm putting that just below the brow line. Not a lot, just enough to give it a little bit of color. And then I'm going to take Optimistic, which is one of my absolute favorites. It's just got that shimmer in it without being over the top. And I just put just a little bit right in the corner here, just to continue to open that eye up. And I also feel like right here in the corners of your eyes, you tend to get a little bit of darker circles. And so when you put that light color that reflects the light and helps open your eyes up even more. And that's it, other than highlighter. Highlighter, I've got several different choices because I love to highlight. I'm going to use the cream to powder highlighter. This is Benevolent, and it really does not take much. Like, that is all I'm going to use. And I use my ring fingers because they have the least amount of strength in them, so you don't give yourself wrinkles. And just a tiny pat under both eyes and a little bit on your cheeks. And you just want to kind of blend that in until it turns from a cream into a powder. And that's done. Just perfect little light catching. And then we are going to do mascara. So mascara is one of those things that I feel is so personal. It's kind of like your lipstick. Like, you might want that really bold, luscious lash look, and you might want something a little bit more neutral. There are so many different mascaras out there, and I kind of have been a mascara junkie in the past and have more different brands of mascara than I can count. But one of the great things about the Younique fiber system is that you can control how much volume and light that you get. So you're going to take your gel, and you're just going to give this just a little coat. And I like to coat both the tops of my lashes and the bottom, and just a little bit on the bottom. And I do not put any gel on the bottom. This is all I do, is just that little bit, or I'm sorry, I don't put any fibers on the bottom. Just put that little bit of gel just to open them up a little bit. And same for that one. Okay. Now I go back and I do a second coat of gel on that first eye. We can take our fibers and go ahead and have them open and ready. So now that that coat of gel is dried, I'm going to put another one, almost like you would layer a traditional mascara. I like to layer the gel because I don't like a lot of fibers. So these are your fibers, and I don't put a lot on the inside. We're just doing daytime makeup. We don't want to be crazy. That's it. And then you want to go back over it with your gel to set everything in place. Nobody wants fibers all over their face. You want a nice, natural, no clump look. So that's it. A little bit of fiber, no fibers. Really simple. Same with the other eye, a second coat of gel. Sorry guys, I've got to I'm blind, so I've got to look really close in the mirror to see my eyes. I could have put my contacts in if I would have thought about it, but I didn't. Okay. Set those fibers into place. You can go back over these. You can add as many layers as you want. You can make them big and bold. You can go full on glam without, having to do any of the false eyelashes. I mean, you really have total control over your look with that. And for lips, I really, really love a good lip gloss. However, once I let my hair down, I feel like my hair is constantly getting stuck in my lips, and that drives me crazy. So for the day, now I will put lip gloss on at night if I'm going out, of course, but for the day, my favorite are the Lip Stain. And we are gonna go with, let's see here, we're gonna go with Serendipitous. And the thing I love about these lip stains is that they really do last all day long. You don't need any special remover. You don't, if you mess up, it's easy to fix it, but it won't kiss off. It won't leave lips on your drinks, and it doesn't dry your lips out. It moisturizes. It's really my favorite lip stain, and I have tried all of them. So I have pretty small lips. And so my first coat, I kind of do right where my lips are. And then I realized how small my lips are and how I need to overdo it just a little bit. So once that first coat dries, I go back over it and go just a tiny bit outside the lip line. Same on the bottom. It's hard to talk when you're doing your lips. And then you want to let it dry before you put anything else. The great thing about these lip stains is that you can layer them. So if you want it to be darker, you want it to be bolder, you can continue to layer. I mix and match different colors for kind of a custom look. It all just depends on you. So it takes a few seconds to dry, and once it's dry, it is set and you are ready to go. And because I really like to have something else on my lips, I like that feeling of lots of moisture, I tend to carry the lip bonbons with me as soon as this is dry. And it's almost just like a tinted chapstick. And then that gives me that nice moisturized feel to my lips. And our final step, and this is, you don't have to, you can, if you're gonna be out all day, you're gonna be at work, or you're gonna be outside, you're gonna be sweating, or if you're prone to oily skin, the setting spray is pure magic. So make sure your hair's out of the way. Give yourself a couple of sprays. It will dry in just a few seconds, and that is just gonna give you long lasting wear. So that's it. I know it took me 20 minutes in the video, but it takes me about 5 minutes in real life. and then I can let my hair down and I'm ready to go. So I look forward to more videos with you guys. I can't wait to show you different skincare routines, how I dermaplane my face, how I take my makeup off, some nighttime looks, some different glitz and glam looks. So drop me a comment, tell me what look that you would like me to do, and I'll be happy to show you, make a video. And thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.